What's up, guys? Welcome back to Road to the 2 Comic Club. Justin here, and today it was obviously really crappy. The Dow dropped a lot. Don't even want to talk about it right now, but we're officially in correction mode right now, but I don't think it's going to last very long because, again, they always say midterm elections, kind of really volatile times, and then afterwards they tend to rally. I'm not giving up hope yet. I want to wait to see what happens after the midterm elections, and then if it looks like we're still going to get crap down for the next year, I'm going to probably just be buying puts and holding stocks. It's going to be kind of boring. But until then, let's just focus on the positives. And speaking of positives, Tesla had a really strong earnings report, as we were predicting. It's funny, though, because the Wall Street estimates were really bad, which kind of makes me think a few things. One, they're either really bad at their job, or two, they just really don't like Tesla, or three, they're purposely underestimating their profit and sales so that they could profit on shares that they hold. So there's a few different reasons why I think that it was so off. I mean, or maybe they just, I don't know, they just got it wrong. I'm not sure, but kind of weird. And so I'm going to talk about the earnings real quick, and then I'm going to talk about how our positions are doing, our Tesla positions, because right now we're doing really well with them. And hopefully, if Tesla stock can hold on tomorrow, which is a big if, but if it can, we should do well with that, although we're going to get crushed with our other positions. So anyways, I'm trying to just focus on the positives right now. So let's just get into it. Tesla shares soar on surprise third quarter profit that beats Wall Street expectations. One of the positive things that I thought was cool was it said that the number of labor hours for the Model 3 fell, so it takes them less time now to make a Model 3, which I thought was awesome. And let's read some more stuff here. It also the Tesla Model 3 was the U.S. best-selling car in the U.S. Measured by revenue, and is the 5th best-selling car in terms of volume. And that is just amazing. Musk said it was an incredibly historic quarter. This is their third quarter they actually turned a profit, and he's basically stating that they could do another profit again next quarter. So this will be, if they can do that next quarter, that'll be 2 quarters in a row, obviously, of profit, but I think that'll be the first time they ever do that. So I'm really excited to see what happens next quarter. I'm still really, really bullish on Tesla, so I'm hoping they can kind of dig us out of this hole that we're in. But anyways, so in terms of the profits, their adjusted earnings were $2.90 a share versus what the Wall Street was expecting, a loss of 19 cents per share. So a huge gap, huge surprise there with the earnings. And then the revenue, $6.82 billion versus an expected $6.33 billion. And they reported a net income of $311.5 million, or $1.75 per share. Now, that's compared with a loss of $619.4 million a year ago. So way better quarter than last year. And revenue surged 70.5% from $4 billion a year ago. So that is awesome. So it said after one-time adjustments, they earned $516 million during the quarter. This is their third profitable quarter, and it compares with an adjusted loss of $520 million same period last year. So he's saying that they could become sustainably profitable now. So that's just awesome. And I want to talk about, I'll link to this article, but I also want to talk about the graph, the deliveries graph. So also, before I do that, this really interesting quote Musk told analysts on the call that demand for the Model 3s was probably on the order of anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million cars a year. So that's crazy. A lot of people are getting that car. It is becoming a lot more affordable, so a lot more people are able to afford it now. And interesting news today, as of today, they just lowered the price of their more expensive version of the Model 3 by $1,000. So that's awesome, making it more affordable. Okay, now let's talk about the deliveries real quick, and I'm going to post a picture of this graph, but you can see clearly the deliveries, how much better it is. I mean, it gradually goes up and up and up, and then all of a sudden, Q3 18, it just doubles the deliveries from Q2 of 2018. So in Q2 of 2018, they delivered 40,740 vehicles, and then this past quarter, Q3, they delivered 83,500. So that is just nuts. They delivered 55,840 Model 3s. That is just nuts. They delivered more Model 3s. They said, I read like they delivered more Model 3s this quarter than like all the previous quarters combined. Something crazy like that. It was just nuts, like craziness going on. And so I am very, very, very stoked. Okay, now let's talk about our positions. And so I'm going to go over to TD Ameritrade here. Now I'm going to post a screenshot of our Tesla positions. You can see we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different eight calls, 6 different positions. So 2 of them we have 2 calls on those. And the first column right next to like the quantity number, so I'll highlight it here for you so you can see it. But this is what the current market value is as of, you know, right now, like Wednesday evening, October 24th, 2018. Now the column right to the right of it is what I paid for those positions. So you can see, for example, the very top position, it's currently worth, our 2 calls together are worth $6,585. And that's the one that I most recently bought, the January 18th, 2019 300 strike call. And we paid $4,940 for it. So now let's go into all the way to the right, the second to last column on the right. That's where our current profit is based on the current market value. And I believe it goes based on the bid and ask price. It doesn't go on what the actual last sale was. So it kind of depends, but that's pretty accurate for the most part. And so you can see on all the positions, we're profiting on all of them except for the bottom one. That's the one that we're not in the money in yet. In fact, I think the 325 call, we're not quite in the money yet, but since we have, you know, over a year to get there, we're still profiting pretty well. But I believe we're in the strike. We hit the strike. We're in the money on those other 4 positions above it. And you can see our percentage returns here on the right. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And I'm real excited about tomorrow. I am also worried because I saw Align was getting hit. They're down $60 after hours on their earnings. So we only have just 1 call, thankfully. But man, it's going to be a bloodbath tomorrow, I think. But with Tesla, if they can hold on, I'm worried that we might have a repeat of what happened with Netflix earlier this week, or last week, when their earnings were really good and their stock went up a lot, but then they came back down just because of everything was coming back down. But I'm hoping, I also heard Microsoft had good earnings, so I'm hoping between Tesla and Microsoft, you know, we can kind of lift everybody up and kind of instill some more confidence in the general market. That's my hope. Again, overall, in the grand scheme of things, the economy is doing very well compared, you know, according to a lot of analysts, according to a lot of economists, and the Fed themselves thinks the market is doing well, or the economy is doing well. So I think, you know, things that we need to keep an eye on are, you know, the 200-day moving average, of course, but also the yield curve and the interest rates. So we have a little bit of time to see what happens. If the Fed maybe decides not to raise the interest rates as much next time, that could be really good. And of course, if, you know, Trump and the president from China can come to some sort of agreement, that would be amazing. And so there's still a little bit, you know, there's still glimmers of hope here. So I'm holding on just a little bit longer, but I'm still really bullish on Tesla. I'm definitely going to be holding on to my long-term calls just because next quarter can also be really good. So that's my plan. And yeah, it's always a tough time when you're in that correction territory. It's really hard to make a good decision. But if you guys want to comment below what you guys are doing in this current climate, please let us know, because it's always good to learn from each other. And if you like the video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll give you guys an update. And yeah, so hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.